Yep.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say
Ka'ala Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash.
double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect, pushing this word and truth necessary across the four corners of the earth. We're going to start off with Wisdom of Solomon, 17th chapter, which it goes into our time in the wilderness when we exited out of Egypt, and our time in the wilderness, and basically what us as Israelites, what we went through and everything, and it's also twofold to now, in the present time, like most of the things in the scriptures are. Alright?
This is Wisdom of Solomon, 17. For great are thy judgment, and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred.
That's right. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. So great are thy judgment, for they cannot be expressed. The nurturing comes from the scriptures and the laws. Okay, you can't nurture a child without having rules. And because at the time we fell away from the scriptures and the Most High's laws, we were considered as unnurtured children, unnurtured souls, right?
It's also known as a milk, right? And this is what you mentioned, child, a brand new baby, and we all come into truth as a brand new baby, and that's what we're reared on. The milk scriptures, right? Because you can't talk about reincarnation the first time someone comes in, they'll bug them out. So you gotta, bring them up to it, right? Teach them about, how we know they're Israelites. I mean, first of all, the name of the Father, Heavenly Father, and then talking them steak, right? All right. So this is verse 2 of chapter 17, Wisdom of Solomon. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they, being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness and fetters with the bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from the eternal providence.
That's right. Read that one more time. Slacker.
For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation.
This could be twofold. Now, this is talking about Pharaoh and his people at the time. They were chasing after us when we were exiting out of Egypt, and they sought to oppress us again. But even within Israel, because the holy nation is Israel, but it starts at the elect first. Right?
Always, yes. Always. Don't forget it. Always. All right? Anybody that's telling you something strange, okay? The Lord's only dealing with the prophets, the men of the Lord on down. It's not dealing with anybody else. Go ahead, Al.
And as the elect are also oppressed by Israel, their own people. Right? So it's twofold, man.
They being shut up in their houses, the prisons of darkness, and fettered with bonds of long night, lay their exile from eternal providence.
And feathered with bonds of long night. So you have to see, as a seer, like Apostle Kabar always says, a seer, which is another word for prophet, you have to imagine what you're reading so you can really play it out. Because we were in the wilderness, you can imagine the long nights, dark nights. But this is also twofold for our bodies, man. Right? Our bodies we're feathered in darkness. Bringing Jude, which is our bodies, man. I know brothers can attest to having a long day, and most of it is because of what you're going through in the flesh. You got the internal battle with your internal environment, and you got the exterior environment. You got other people's demons and your own demons.
This is Jude, verse 6. And the angels, which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation,
right,
he has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness.
That's right.
Unto the judgment of the great day.
That's right, which is we're waiting for, we're getting close to those chains of everlasting darkness are these bodies. Right? Because you know what? When you think about darkness, that's synonymous with lost. The laws, you can't find the laws in our bodies, man. It's in the spirit. But the bodies that we're going to get in the kingdom, the scriptures say the laws are going to be in our inward parts. So in those bodies, the law will be nature. In these bodies, the law isn't nature. That's why it's darkness. You know?
I got something.
Come.
This is Romans 8, verse 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now.
And the bond of corruption is this body, like the brother said. Right? 'Cause this is where you get backaches, and you ask, well, is the dentist open? You know what I mean? The brother's asking, the dentist back here, I got a toothache. Right? In the kingdom won't have that. You know what I mean? This is where you get nosebleeds and you break your ankle. You stand up here in the elements, so you feel cold. Yeah. Right? When you're in a glorified state, now the angels will get cold. Yeah. Talking about my stomach is hurting me and shit.
Yep. Hey, Dracula is here. You have more?
I have a definition for vanity, right? Because we were subject to that.
Sure.
It's in the Greek called matetes, and it says, what is devoid of truth and appropriateness. So that's the vanity that we are subject to, which is not being appropriate, right? Which is really going against the scriptures.
Yeah.
And really, pretty much the pride of life, that's pretty much vanity too. Now, it says perverseness, depravity, frailty, want of vigor, because we're really frail in these bodies too. And, that proves we're made in these bodies, we have to depend on the Lord even more. All right, so that's really, we're putting these bodies really to call upon the name of Yahweh Bashem Shai in the beginning. That's what it's really for. That's all I had.
Yeah, real quick. Just to preface, right? Because if you go back to the beginning of what Brother said, I just wanted to bring this precept out because it's very important. As he brought us out of the Egypt and into the wilderness, there were nations or traps on the way. Right? Now let me just get the precept. This is Deuteronomy 2:8. For the record, real quick, it says, and when we had passed from our brethren, the children of Esau, which dwelt in Seir, through the way of the plain, right? From Elath and from Ezen-Geber, we turned and passed the way of the wilderness of Moab. So the point is, as we're in this wilderness going towards the promised land, this Esau, he was almost the first person that we had to really deal with, which is not supposed to be, is our wicked, evil twin, right? We dealt with the Canaanites before them and all those nations. So the point is simply this. This again is being rehearsed as what the brother mentioned, right? But this character here, Esau, right? And real quick, Amalek, I think that's Numbers 24 and 20, I could be wrong there, where it talks about he's the first nation and the last there to be destroyed. The Lord's going to destroy you, okay? Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. So the point is, that's what it is. This Esau in the way, and you nations also that are nothing, like you Moabites. And when you look at it, it's the same thing that's going on. All that's in the news is Moab and Esau. Moab and Esau mostly. Okay? Anyway, that's the point I want to make with the history.
Back in the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 3. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness.
Yep, and see how it just went twofold now. Because now you have Israelites who hide in the secret of their sins. But I think in Hebrews 4 and 12, 4 and 12, if I'm not mistaken, talks about the power is quickening, and it cutteth through the bone and the marrow, asunder, even unto the spirit, discerner of spirits. So this is why when people come up to the prophets while we're doing this work, their spirit gets sifted out right away. It gets judged right away, because everybody here is walking in the secret of their sins. They don't want no one to know what they're doing that's wrong. That's why if you judge anybody, which is when you judge everybody, you're hated upon. Because now you're making their secrets known, like we're doing to Esau. That's why Esau's going to sort out to go after the prophets, and we're making him naked.
As of recent, they call it cancel culture. That's what it is, because every time you bring something out on somebody, they cancel you, shut you down. And that's why you see like the videos being cut out online, right?
What? And everything in general. Now they have the thing where like you even type in, say, nigger or something like that, or black, white trash or something like that. You type it in. You're on Instagram or wherever. You're watching it. Certain keywords you put in, just like him from before. He saw it. Like you would say the word bomb, or write the word bomb. The Homeland Security's on your ass, man. You know.
That's right.
Can't even say that word. Like that's why